How are you doing? This is Pastor Jefferson from Goodness and Mercy Ministry Church in Chesapeake, Virginia. So glad and excited to have you with us on today. Now let's continue our conversation on monopolistic competitive markets and imperfect market structures. I remember I told you how the Lord told me He was going to use business titles and economic titles to give me to show you parables and similarities about your Christian journey, how you are serving the Lord. Now let's get into monopolistic competitive marketing. Now we know what it is to get wealthy. You know, monopolies don't become monopolies to be poor. They go to be wealthy. So they got to eliminate competition, see, and that's small markets. So they can be the only big one in the block, in the neighborhood. And that's one thing about our church. I don't want us to have that form in our pastoring, in church service to you, whether you're a visitor or a member. So that means, ladies and gentlemen, the only way to solve that, whether you may believe it or not, is to preach both ways. After you preach salvation, after you preach getting strong, in order to stop the church, now you may believe different, in order to stop the church from being a monopoly where we just want to get rich, forget about small issues, we don't want to deal with suffering scriptures, we got to win people, and we don't want to feel good about living contentment because the favor of God is big increase. I'm not preaching like that. So you have to find another church that does that. I'm not the church to join. We're not the church to join because we will preach wealth. Oh yeah, we're going to have wealth seminars. Let me make that clear. At Goodness and Mercy, if you become a member here, if you do not have a pastor, you will get wealth conferences. Okay? Yes, you will. I got notebooks written already where we're going to be teaching, big teaching on being wealthy. Now, hopefully, we hope to encourage you to be a social investor, a humanitarian person, a charity investor, and to give to your church in charity. And then spend it on you. Pay the bills, buy luxury. But we don't want to keep it at that. I got to be honest with you. I don't know if you're going to like this, but I'm going to tell you anyways. As a pastor, as a Christian, I do believe that God wants Christians to be wealthy. But I want to be honest with you though, okay? People in Christianity who want to on their own decision, nobody forced them, they want to take the call to suffer. They want to live in poor neighborhoods. They don't want to get out of the projects. They believe in living a life that's not full of riches, for the winning of souls, for embracing people in the projects. They don't want to live outside the projects. They want to live in the projects. They don't want to live outside the bad neighborhood. They want to live in. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to support that. I'm not preaching against that. Let me make it clear, because a lot of people don't want a pastor that preach that there is a call to suffer. Well, that's not me. I preach it. People who want to, on their own decision, did you hear me? They don't want to pray for wealth. They don't want to pray to get out of the rough neighborhood. There's nothing wrong with that. Just because you want to be rich doesn't mean we all want. I want to be rich. Me and my wife are going to be wealthy for social investments, to give to humanitarian services, philanthropy, and then spend on us. You get it? But I'm not going to down others who don't want to be rich. And I want you to know that that's how I'm pastoring. So when we have our wealth conferences, it will not be mandatory. It will not be mandatory. Because we may have some missionaries. Now, y'all got missionaries as people cooking for the guest church. Missionaries mean they have a mission. The word missionary gets tossed around like a salad, like a food banquet. Missionary means you have a mission for low, impoverished cities in the United States, states in the United States, or overseas. So I don't care what people think I need missionaries. I ain't talking about women that cook in the kitchen and just give communion, although that's great, to the hospitals. But I'm talking about, that's wonderful. I want that too. But I want missionaries as well. So there are going to be some people joining our church who are going to be missionaries with a mission. A missionary is a person, a woman or a man, or a group of people with the love of God who go to missions, y'all. Okay, I know in the church we're used to missionaries cooking in the kitchen, washing dishes. And yes, they go to the hospital and give people communion. But missionaries are people who take a call to suffer. Now, yes, God blesses them, feeds them, even if people treat them to things. But missionary means you have a mission. So we're going to do missionaries right in our church, okay? So that's why I cannot have wealth conferences be 90% of our preaching, 85% of our revivals, and 100% of our talking. We must uplift the wealthy Christian and the call to suffer Christian. Do you hear me? Do you hear me now? Now, I don't go for the commercialized church or the organized church, because it's nothing but a symbol of white-collar organized crime. You can sin, but say you're wealthy. You can't sin your righteousness away. Yes, you can. So I don't run a white-collar organized crime. White-collar means you're an executive. So we don't run a monopolistic competitive market. I'm not trying to be... I don't want Goodness and Mercy to be known as the wealthiest church. So if you're looking for a church like that, you got to join another church. We got to grow in loving people. Not grow in money, but grow in loving people. I don't want Goodness and Mercy to be an industry. I want us to be into loving people. And we need people to come to the church. Not computerized wealthy machines. Listen, if you're meant to be wealthy, nothing can stop you. So you can be in a church